Now, whether I am at a social gathering, simply chatting with friends, or at work, I'm asked one question very frequently. A lot of people I know have seen my travels all over the world over the last few years, and they know that I am fueling my travels due to a combination of loyalty programs and credit card rewards. So it isn't surprising that one of the common inbound questions for me often is, which travel credit card should I get? Now, this is a very, very pertinent question. As I mentioned in the very first episode, that when you get into the miles, points, and credit card space, it can often be really, really intimidating. Looking at so many different loyalty programs, credit cards, the rewards programs, there are so many things that can leave you dazed and confused. However, there's always the place that you can start from. In the first episode, I mentioned that it starts with the first push up. You have to take that very first step before you get into the deep end. So, in this episode, I'm going to answer the very important question and address the elephant in the room. Which travel credit card should you get? So, let's get started with one more episode of the Travel Dialogue podcast. Welcome aboard. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Travel Dialogue podcast. Our goal is to make you a smarter traveler. Now, the question that I'm always asked is, which travel credit card should I get? And now, the answer can be really long. The short answer is, it depends. Now, you may look at this and say, what do you mean by depends? That's not specific. Let's take an example of a car. Let's say you're in the market to buy a brand new car. Wouldn't there be a lot of different factors that you would be considering? So let's say you want to buy a car, you have a budget that is set. You don't want to pay more than a certain amount of money. You want a certain make, you want a certain type of car. You want a car that gives you a certain type of mileage. You want a car which lasts for a certain number of years. You want a car which is durable and is easy to maintain. You put all these factors into consideration in addition to how much money you can pay to buy that car, and then decide, okay, these are the three options that suit me the best. Travel credit cards are no different. When you're in the market for a travel credit card, there are different factors that come into play. So in this episode, we are going to go over those factors and give you a definitive guide, helping you pick the right travel credit card that suits your travel pattern. Now, there's a very simple analytical framework that you can use as a newbie when you're looking to think about the answer to this question. Which travel credit card should you get? There are two specific buckets that you need to focus on. Number one, earning points. Now, when it comes to earning points, you primarily need to look at some of the categories where you're already spending money on. So let me give you an example. Are you a consultant who travels frequently and has a lot of travel that needs to be reimbursed? As a result of that, you're putting a lot of travel spend on your existing cards and not getting enough return. Are you someone who buys a lot of grocery, whether online or in person, so your annual grocery spend tends to be quite a lot? Are you someone who spends a lot on utilities or other categories? If you're simply looking for an easy framework to understand this, pick up a pen and paper and write down each and every month how much money do you spend and which categories is that money broken down into, and you will get the answer. For some people, it might be travel, because they are consultants and they spend a lot on airlines and hotels. For some people who might be spending a lot on groceries. For some people, it might be a lot of spend on daily commute or some other category. Maybe utilities, maybe insurance, something else. That's what I call the earning side. That's bucket number one. Bucket number two is redemption. In this case, you have to, on that same notepad, write down your travel goal. Why is this necessary? Let me come back to the car example. If you're looking to buy a top-end car, but your budget is really tiny, it doesn't make sense writing it down, and it doesn't make any sense trying to chase it. In this case, simply note down what your end goal is when it comes to travel. Now, let me give you an example. In my case, I try to use my miles and points as much as possible for luxury travel. Now, how do you define luxury travel? For me personally, I'm looking to fly business class whenever the duration of my flight exceeds 5 hours. Anything less than 5 hours, I'm okay flying economy. When it comes to hotels, I'm trying to book luxury properties, particularly in the Marriott, Hilton, and Hyatt portfolio. And I'm always looking for new opportunities where I can have enough points in these programs, either organically or by transfer bonuses, where I can book these luxury vacations. So just to give you an example, I had enough Marriott points last year. I booked the Ritz-Carlton Krabi Phuley Bay in Thailand. It is one of 6 properties which are part of the Ritz-Carlton Reserve Collection, an exclusive set of properties, only 6 around the world. However, I can understand that each person's travel goal is very different. For some people, that travel goal might simply be a couple of small international trips in economy, staying at a few budget hotels every year. For some people, international travel may not be a priority at all. In that case, it will be very prudent to simply stick to rewards programs that are specific to your country. So let's take the example of India. Would you take the credit card of an airline that is a part of a massive global alliance if you're simply looking to travel around India? Maybe not. It's not that useful for you. However, if you're looking to fly around the world and trying to leverage that airline alliance to your benefit, then it makes a ton of sense. See the difference over here? For a lot of people, miles and points simply may not be the ideal goal. They simply want good return on spend. Now, if you're looking to book a few trips every year, maybe just 1 or 2, and are simply looking for a card that gives you some cash back on your daily spend, then there are plenty of cards in the market which will help you do that. However, beware that if you're simply getting a cashback card, you can kiss goodbye to a lot of redemptions which would be categorized as luxury. And the reason for that is that the cash prices for a lot of these flights and hotels are simply very high, and you would need to have a ton of points from your cashback card in order to redeem them for your next stay or flight. However, if your goal is to simply have one family vacation every year, flying economy, staying at a budget hotel, then the cashback card might just be perfect for you. Once again, just to recap this segment, you have 2 buckets. Write down on a piece of paper the earning side. Where are you spending your money? Which are the top 3 categories where you spend your money? And which credit cards might be useful for you to earn at a quicker rate when you spend in those categories. Number 2, write down very, very clearly, not just where you want to go, what your travel goal is, but also how you want to get there. And the how is very, very important because it's going to dictate which type of credit card you would want to get. As I mentioned in the previous example, if your goal is to fly premium cabins and also stay at luxury hotels, then cashback cards won't really do the job for you. However, a cashback card might work perfectly for you if you're simply looking to book just 1 trip every year and you want to keep it really, really simple. Now, before we proceed, let's have a look at the 3 different types of credit cards. Number 1, cashback credit cards. Now, these are pretty simple to understand. They have a very easy value proposition. What happens in most cases is you get a simple percentage cashback, which is usually credited to your account, either as a statement credit or as points, which you can redeem later for a statement credit. So let's take the example of a card that gives you a 3% cashback on airline purchases. What would happen is for every 100 that you spend, you would get 3 back, and that would be credited to your account, and you can always redeem them either later in the form of a statement credit or you can have them post your account. Now, it all depends on the value proposition of the card and the bank issuing the card and how they structure the rewards and things like that. In certain cases, they might be offering other bonuses or point boosts where you can get even 5% in certain categories or even 10% in certain times when they're running some promotion. But in general, it is very easy to understand in that you spend money, you spend X amount of money in a given category, and you get your cash back at a certain. The second type of credit cards, which is bank reward programs. Now, what are bank reward programs? These are pretty simple to understand in the sense that instead of getting a statement credit or anything else, you're simply earning points in that particular bank's currency. Now, each bank calls their points by a different name. Let's take the example of American Express membership rewards. So what happens in this case, if you're spending money on your card, let's take the example of the Amex Platinum card. you would be earning points for each and every purchase as opposed to getting cash back or statement credits. So for money spent based on the category that you're spending, you will earn American Express membership rewards points. Now, at the end of the day, you have the option to either redeem them for a statement credit or transfer to any of their airline and hotel partners. Now, how are these different from the simple cashback cards? In terms of the bank rewards points, you have 3 different options. You can convert your points into cash if you wish to. You can use those points to book travel from the bank's own portal, or you can transfer to the airline or hotel partners and then book a stay or a flight. However, bear in mind that any points that you earn on purchases will be in that bank's points currency. So you're not getting any statement credit, you're not earning any airline miles or points. It's in that bank's own currency. And then it's up to you to decide how you want to use it. Number 3, co-branded credit cards. When it comes to co-branded credit cards, there are a couple of subcategories. Let's look at the first one, airline credit cards. Now, what are airline credit cards? Let's say you fly Air India very frequently. Let's say you fly Singapore Airlines very frequently, and you pick up a card which earns you Air India's points. Now, in case of an airline co-branded credit card, what happens is you earn that airline's miles or points, as opposed to earning a cashback or earning a bank's currency. So pretty simple. Let's say you have a Singapore Airlines credit card, which is co-branded, and you spend a certain amount on grocery, you spend a certain amount on utilities, and you spend a certain amount on Singapore Airlines tickets. Now, irrespective of how much money you spend or how much that multiplier is, when your statement closes every month, you will have only earned KrisFlyer miles. See the difference? No matter where you spend, the only quote-unquote currency that you're earning is KrisFlyer miles. The same goes with an Air India co-branded credit card. No matter where you spend your money, how much you spend, what the multiplier is, when your monthly statement closes, you will only earn Air India's points as opposed to earning a statement credit or a bank's rewards currency points. Now, within co-branded credit cards, you also have hotel co-branded credit cards. Let's take the example of a Marriott Bonvoy credit card. Now, similar to the airline co-branded credit cards, you will earn points in that hotel's currency as opposed to earning any generic points or cashback. So in this case, irrespective of how much money I spend, what the multiplier is, because it is a Marriott Bonvoy credit card, when my monthly statement closes, I will only earn Marriott Bonvoy points. Now, we'll be going into great detail in the rest of the episode about how these are different from each other and why you can pick one over the other and what the different strategies are. So let's get started. Now let's take the example of cashback credit cards. The cashback credit cards are perfect for you if you only want to do a simple stay every year and want to have enough points or statement credits redeemable every year so that you can book that trip each year. Very simple proposition, mostly very low annual fees, less complications. Now let's get to bank reward programs. Now this can be really, really suitable for those people who want to have a lot of different options. And the reason I say that is bank reward programs act as a very good hedge against devaluation of a particular airline or hotel currency. Why? Because you are earning points in one central account. So let's take the example of American Express once again. Let's say you have earned 100,000 points in your American Express account. Now, you're not beholden to any particular airline or hotel or their expiration policies or any of their restrictions. You can simply transfer your points when needed, depending on where you want to go. And that gives you a ton of flexibility as opposed to any other card where you would be earning points in that hotel or airline's currency. So for someone like me, I really love bank reward programs because it gives me multiple options where I can either buy flights or hotels directly to the bank's portal or transfer them to an airline or a hotel when required. However, one word of caution, if you have a credit card that earns bank reward points, you must not transfer points preemptively unless you have something in mind. Now let's look at the third category, which is co-branded credit cards. Let's say you travel to work, you are the vice president at a company and you're in charge of business for Asia Pacific. Because you're in charge for Asia Pacific, you have a lot of corporate travel on Singapore Airlines. In that case, it would make a ton of sense for you to have a co-branded credit card with Singapore Airlines. On the other hand, let's say you are a corporate traveler who does a ton of domestic travel, traveling Air India all over India. It would make a ton of sense for you to get a co-branded credit card with Air India. Now, what are some of the perks that you get when you get a co-branded airline credit card? Quite often, you will see that airlines will offer you elite status, at least for the first year, on a complimentary basis. You might see spending challenges and things like that for the second year onwards to maintain status. Airlines will also offer you benefits like complimentary upgrade vouchers or even preferable seating arrangement, preferred boarding, lounge access, and many other benefits. That way, if you're loyal to one airline, it can make a lot of sense to get a co-branded airline credit card as opposed to spreading your spend across different airlines and hotels. Now let's look at the next one, co-branded hotel credit cards. Now let's come back to the previous example once again. You're a corporate traveler who frequently stays at Hilton's or Marriott's. It makes a ton of sense to get a co-branded hotel credit card. Why? There are credit cards in the market that offer you complimentary elite status just for having the card and paying the annual fee. Now, this can also be very beneficial if you are spending some money at the property as a corporate traveler, either spending on food and beverage or events and conferences. The points can rack up very, very quickly. Similar to airlines, hotels also give you a lot of different perks like complimentary breakfast, elite status. You can also get access to lounges whenever a hotel has one inside the property. It will also give you a better cancellation window thanks to your elite status level. So similar to airlines, hotels also give you a ton of perks, but I would only recommend you to get a co-branded airline or hotel credit card if you're loyal to one hotel chain or one airline. Now, the reason can be whatever. It might be that because your organization that you work for does a ton of business and they have a contract, so it makes sense that you travel a particular airline and stay at a particular hotel, or you simply have your own preference while doing a leisure trip. Now, each person might be having his or her own reason, but it always makes sense to be loyal if your travel pattern already aligns with where you're going. When it comes to travel credit cards, one of the commonly asked questions is, Ashish, should I get a credit card that charges an annual fee? A lot of people get really spooked, shocked when they see some of the annual fees on these expensive travel credit cards. Thankfully, for all of our smart listeners and viewers, I've already created an episode about credit card annual fees. You can refer to episode number 3 for all the details about whether you should get a credit card with an annual fee. However, just to summarize, I would say that if you're someone who is thinking about this particular problem, then it makes a lot of sense to simply take pen and paper, write down the annual fee, and then jot down your travel plans and see how it aligns. We can simply draw up an Excel sheet, write down the annual fee, and then write down the benefits and see how we are using those benefits to get a fair idea about how much money you're getting back after paying the annual fee. Remember that you're paying the annual fee upfront and then using the benefits. So you have to be wise and prudent before you apply for a credit card that charges a very high annual fee, because things can often slip out of control. People lead busy lives and you end up not using a lot of benefits on that card. So let's first have a look at cashback cards. And here I'm on the page of the Cashback SBI card, which has a very simple value proposition. All right, so this card charges an annual fee of $999 plus taxes, which is one time, and the renewal fee of another $999 from the second year onwards. However, if you spend more than $200,000 in a single year, that fee is waived. What are some of the benefits of the card then? You will earn 5% cashback on online spends without any merchant restriction. So if you're someone who buys a lot of stuff online, this is a very, very good card for you just to get simple cashback on all of your online spends. So spending on websites like Amazon, Myntra, or any of the websites that you frequently buy things from. You'll also get a 1% fuel surcharge waiver across petrol pumps in India. And once you spend more than 2 lakh in a year, your annual fee will also be waived. This is a very simple value proposition for someone starting out who only wants cash back, isn't really considering at something more complex, then this is a good option. Now let's look at the second category, bank rewards programs. Now, what happens in case of bank reward programs is that you earn points into the bank's currency. Now, this is the American Express Platinum card. At the moment, it is not available for new applicants, but let's have a look at the value proposition and our analytical framework and see whether it makes sense for you. A quick glance at the card immediately tells you that it is meant for people who want to travel in style. The annual fee may give you a sticker shock. However, you get a lot of vouchers and points benefits and lounge access benefits, which can offset the fee. Again, in this case, it only makes sense for you if you do a ton of corporate travel, primarily in premium cabins, and have loyalty to a lot of shopping and airline and hotel brands, which can be called premium category brands. So let's have a look. 66,000 plus taxes. As you scroll down further, access to airport lounges globally, Centurion Lounge access, Priority Pass, Delta Club, Escape lounges, and domestic partner lounges in India. Now, this can be very useful, especially if you have a home airport that has a Centurion Lounge. So let's say you're at Mumbai Airport, that's your home airport. The American Express Centurion Lounge is there at the domestic terminal. In my opinion, it's a really, really good lounge. I've frequented that lounge many times, and it'll also allow you to bring in a guest free of cost. In addition, you also have Priority Pass, which has a pretty good network all over the world. I mean, I have accessed Priority Pass lounges at airports far away, even in Latin America. For example, I was able to access a lounge in Cartagena, Colombia. I've also been able to access lounges in Thailand or Vietnam for that matter. So Priority Pass is a great backup if your airport doesn't have a Centurion Lounge or any of the other lounges mentioned here. As you scroll down further, you will see a lot of different options. Travel benefits for those constantly on the move. You will see exclusive deals on some of the airlines like Air India, Etihad, Qatar Airways, Virgin Atlantic, Air France, KLM, Lufthansa, United, and more. Fine hotels and resorts benefit. This is a benefit which can be really useful if you like to stay at upscale properties. I do have the Amex Platinum card, and I must tell you that Fine Hotels and Resorts program has barely disappointed me. What you get by booking through the Fine Hotels and Resorts program is that you get one complimentary level upgrade. You also get $100 credit per stay. So even if you're staying for just one night, you still get the $100 credit. You also get early check-in as early as 12 p.m. and then guaranteed 4 p.m. checkout. So this can be really useful as a benefit around the world. Enjoy seamless upgrades to elite tier memberships. Now you have the Taj Reimagined Epicure status, Marriott Bonvoy Gold Elite status, Hilton Honors Gold. Now, in my case, I really find Hilton Honors Gold very useful. Why? Because Hilton Honors Gold status is one of those few programs where you get complimentary breakfast all over the world at Hilton properties, barring properties in the United States of America. So if you're traveling around the world, you will get complimentary breakfast for you and one more person for simply having the Platinum card and activating your Hilton Honors Gold membership. Now, this can be really useful for you if you're loyal to the Hilton brand. Again, you also have Marriott Bonvoy Gold Elite status, but it isn't as valuable as Hilton Gold because Marriott Bonvoy Gold doesn't guarantee you complimentary breakfast. And as you go down the list, you will have Radisson, Accor Plus membership, as well as Preferred Titanium membership. It's up to you to decide. If you're already loyal to one of these brands and find the Elite status useful, then this card is for you. Otherwise, I don't really recommend it. You will earn 3x points on everything every time you spend abroad. You'll get 20x rewards on 20 plus luxury brands with Rewards Accelerator. Now, as I mentioned at the outset, that you will earn more points on this card, especially if you're someone who likes to travel in style. Spending at luxury hotels, spending on premium cabin tickets, and also with luxury brands. So you have a bunch of brands over here. You can select the product and then you can select the type of program that is there. Makes a ton of sense if you already shop with some of these retailers and brands. Platinum experiences. You can also get access to VIP only events, depending on availability, tickets, restaurant reservations, and the works. However, in my own experience, I have seen that this can be a bit of a hit or miss. Sometimes the concierge is really able to go out of their way and find something really good. In certain cases, it hasn't quite worked the way I liked. So overall, if you were to ask me about this particular card, I'm taking again. I would only recommend this card if you are already traveling in premium cabins and you're already booking upscale properties and you love to shop at some of these high-end brands. If you're not, then this card is definitely not for you given the hefty price tag that it carries. All right, then airline co-branded credit cards. Let's have a look at the SBI card. Now, SBI offers different cards based on your type of travel with Singapore Airlines. So we are looking at the KrisFlyer SBI card Apex, privileges on KrisFlyer SBI card. In this case, what happens is, irrespective of how you spend your money, how much you spend, what the accelerator is, you will only earn KrisFlyer miles. Now, this is very different from the previous example I showed you with the American Express card, where you were earning American Express membership points, which could then transfer to their partners or also redeem for a statement credit. In this case, you cannot do any of those things because what happens is any money that you spend on the card, you will earn KrisFlyer miles only because this is a co-branded airline credit card. Now, this card charges an annual fee. Every year, you will be charged $9,999 once again when you renew the product. You'll get a welcome benefit of 10,000 KrisFlyer miles on the payment of the annual fees. And this card offers you a lot of accelerated earnings when it comes to earning KrisFlyer miles. So 10 KrisFlyer miles per 200 rupees spent on the Singapore Airlines group website. So this can also have Airlines Next, Scoot, and some of their other partners. 8 miles per 200 rupees on international spends, and then 6 miles per 200 on all other eligible spends. You will also get milestone benefits. When you spend 5 lakhs, you will earn an additional 10,000 miles. And you can also upgrade to KrisFlyer Elite Gold when you spend 7.5 lakhs on Singapore Airlines in a year. Now, if you're someone who travels for work frequently and already has that kind of spend, then this card is a really good option for you because it unlocks KrisFlyer Gold status. Once you get KrisFlyer Gold status, you also get Star Alliance Gold status, which means that next time when you fly Air India, United Airlines, or any of the Star Alliance partners, you will be treated as an elite. You also get lounge benefits like 2 complimentary domestic airport lounge vouchers every quarter and then complimentary membership to the Priority Pass program. You can also get 8 complimentary international airport lounge vouchers per year, maximum visits of 2 per quarter. In addition to that, you also have other benefits like fuel surcharge waiver. However, coming back to the mood question, this card makes a ton of sense for people who spend a lot with Singapore Airlines and fly Singapore Airlines frequently. If you only have a couple of flights or maybe 3 flights every year with Singapore Airlines, I don't really recommend that you get this card. However, if you're someone who is a frequent business traveler, someone who is constantly traveling around Asia Pacific and taking a lot of Singapore Airlines flights, then this makes a ton of sense because once you hit the 7.5 lakh spend annually with Singapore Airlines, that would unlock Singapore Airlines' own KrisFlyer Gold status, and that would take you then to Star Alliance Gold status as well. Now let's have a look at a hotel co-branded credit card. In this case, what happens is you earn points in the hotel's own program. These are not airline miles. These are not bank reward points. These are not cashback points. These are the hotel's own points. However, in case of the Marriott Bonvoy program, what happens is you have the option of converting your Marriott Bonvoy points into airlines, and you can look at the Marriott Bonvoy website and you will see all the different ratios in which you can convert your Marriott Bonvoy points to airlines. It's mostly at a 3:1 ratio. Anyway, coming back to the main question, the Marriott Bonvoy HDFC Bank credit card, it offers you 1 free night award valued at 15,000 points as a welcome gift and upon card renewal. Bear in mind that the card charges an annual fee of 3,000 plus taxes. Now, the way it works with Marriott is that you get a free night certificate each year, but it's capped at 15,000 points. However, Marriott lets you top up an additional 15,000 points per night if you add up points. So in effect, what happens is your Marriott Bonvoy free night certificate is valued up to 30,000 points, depending on which property is available and whether you have the extra points to top them up. You also get complimentary Marriott Bonvoy Elite status and also get 10 Elite Night credits each year for simply having the card. This can be really useful if you're looking to requalify for a particular level of Elite status or are targeting a particular Elite status in the first place. You will also earn accelerated rewards when you spend with Marriott Bonvoy. So for every 150 spent, you will earn 8x points with Marriott, x on travel, dining, and entertainment. I think that this is really good if you spent a lot in travel, dining, and entertainment and want to earn Marriott Bonvoy points, because you can earn a lot of points very quickly if you're someone like me who travels a lot and also dines out frequently. You will earn 2 points on all other purchases. There are also spend thresholds that you can meet. So for every 6 lakhs you spend, you will get 1 free night. You will get another when you spend 9 lakh, and then you will get 1 more additional free night when you spend 15 lakh. Bear in mind that similar to the complimentary free night that you get every year, this free night certificate is also valued up to 15,000 points. So you can add another 15,000 points as per Marriott's terms and conditions. And you can get up to 30,000 points in a free night certificate every year. In addition to that, you also have the usual lounge access. This card would make a lot of sense for you. Number one, if you frequently stay at Marriott, which is a no-brainer. Number two, if you're chasing elite status. Number three, if you have a lot of travel, dining, and entertainment spend in addition to spending at Marriott. And for a lot of people, especially who work in sales, they do a ton of travel and dining spend, then this card can work really well for you in terms of helping you rack up Marriott points very quickly. Once you have Marriott points, you can not only book Marriott properties all around the world, but you can also transfer them to airlines. One more additional benefit that is often overlooked is that once you're booking a stay with Marriott points, you can get your 5th night free as well. So for Marriott stays, when you have Silver Elite status, you can get your 5th night free every time you book a 4-night stay using your Marriott Bonvoy points. Isn't that fantastic? Before we wrap up the episode, it would be prudent to do a quick recap. When you ask the question, which travel credit card should I get? You need to figure out answers to 2 questions. Question number 1, once again, earning points. What type of points do you want to earn? Where do you spend your money at? And how will that card help you earn points faster or earn cashback faster so that you can get the maximum return on things that you already spend money on? On the other hand, redemption. What is your redemption style? Do you simply want cashback on shopping or statement credits? Do you want to travel internationally? Do you want to travel domestically? Do you want to travel in economy class and stay at a few budget properties? Or in contrast, do you want to travel in premium cabins and stay at upscale luxurious properties? Write this down on a piece of paper and be meticulous in your planning. Most importantly, don't fall for this trap. And I call it the tail wagging the dog. Now, what does that mean? Banks come up with limited time offers, deals, and discounts. Sometimes you will see cards offering as high as 100,000 points as a welcome bonus, different types of perks and free night certificates. These limited time offers can often push you into making some irrational decisions. However, I hope that you use my framework to have a look at these offers and say, hey, while this offer might be great, is it good for me? Does it help me earn points faster? And does the redemption style suit my style of travel? These are the only 2 things you need to keep in mind before asking yourself the question, which travel credit card should I get next? The whole point of studying loyalty programs, miles, points, and travel trends is to make sure that when you actually redeem those points, you're able to redeem them for a trip that is truly memorable. If you use the framework that I've just stated out here, you can have a very, very organized approach towards attaining your travel goals. Our goal at the Travel Dialogue podcast is to make you a smarter traveler, and making sure that you make prudent choices in your travel journey is one of our motives. So overall, have our travel goals clearly outlined and then figure out the right kind of credit card based on your spending patterns and your goal. So that wraps up yet another episode of the Travel Dialogue podcast. Thank you once again for watching. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube and become a part of the Travel Tribe as we grow the podcast. You can also find the podcast on other platforms like Apple Podcasts and more. You will find us on social media at the Travel Dialogue Podcast on X, Instagram, and Facebook as well. Partner with us in the growth of the podcast by supporting us through any of the links in the description below. Until then, have a great one, and we will see you in the next episode.